All righty, everybody. We are back. We apologize for the technical difficulties, but we are now live in the group. So go ahead and share it out to all of your Denver Bronco groups, NFL groups, all that fun stuff. We already did the intro, so I'm not going to make Dave do it again. So I think we could just hop straight back into it and see what's going on. Hopefully, we can stop running into issues with Facebook, or we're going to have to start streaming somewhere else. Facebook?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, may have to. Either that or leave StreamYard.
Yeah, because I'm getting kind of tired of Facebook kicking us out. I'm not sure what the problem is.
Zuckerberg is now on notice. All right.
Yeah, Facebook. What's up? What's his name? Zuckerberg, or however his name.
Yep.
We're coming for you.
Yeah, Rmsr. We're not happy. Look out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this will correct the issue.
We will take down your entire empire.
All right. Well, it looks like it's corrected on our issue. On my side, we'll see if it will allow us to correct it. One thing, just to be safe, if one of you gents want to hop onto Facebook and see if
I'm looking for it. I don't see it.
All right, then let's go over to our
here it is.
group
Here it
page
is.
and then share it on over that way.
Here it is. It's in here.
Okay, and we're live. What's us?
Well, this may be on the actual page.
Okay, then can we share that to the group, please?
Let me share it over there. Why can't I not share it to a group?
I'm telling you, I think the group is just is part of our problem these days.
It may be. I don't understand.
We'll just start. What we'll do is we'll not schedule to the group anymore. We'll just schedule to the Facebook page, and then someone can share to the Facebook page. I think that'll be the best way to avoid the issues with the group page.
Here, I'm going to copy this link and put it on the group page and see if that'll allow it to go.
Okay, yes, because I have maxed out my ability to share anything because I shared all the last stream, so I cannot share anymore. So anyways, while Dave's working on that, let's just hop into the agenda. We're a little bit delayed, so that's okay.
All right. There we go.
Okay, cool.
It looks like we're in there now.
All right. Hopefully, if not Facebook, we're having problems. We'll figure those out. Anyways, injury breakdown. So we had a couple of injuries pop up this week. We had a couple lingering injuries going on. So to highlight the first one, I think we're all kind of gasping at and worried about is the Jerry Jeudy injury, because, we were all highlighting him on our pregame show last week. Like how he was going to be the breakout star. We're all super stoked to have him. And then, unfortunately, thankfully, it's just a high ankle sprain, but it looked dislocated. It looked like it was hanging there. Thankfully, it was not that case. So I guess that leads up. Let's talk about the guy who's stepping up to bringing up Kendall Hinton out of the practice squad. Do you guys feel like that was the right move out of who was available on the practice squad to bring up? No? Okay, well, you're saying no. Who do you think was the right choice then, Dave?
Seth Williams.
Seth Williams.
Yep.
Okay.
So I think Tim Patrick could slide in for Jerry Jeudy.
Okay.
And then you have Seth Williams, who's a bigger body guy. We got our speedster with Hamler if he can catch the ball. So I think another big body like Seth Williams would probably. And I think he just has more big play ability. I really didn't see a lot from Hinton during preseason. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Seth Williams stood out more than he did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Caleb says as long as he's not playing quarterback, which I agree with. Let's keep him far away from quarterback.
And welcome back, Caleb. Haven't seen Caleb in a while. So
Caleb is working his way on coming back. He's going to come back in the intermediates and part-time stuff here and there as he navigates, all of the the crazy thing we call life.
Yeah.
So it's going to be nice to see him coming back in.
Well, awesome. Nice to see his comments. So definitely is. So.
Hey, Caleb, if you're watching, can you mass share this to all of our groups, the podcast groups, all that fun stuff? Unfortunately, we had technical difficulties, and I'm no longer able to share since I maxed out. And I know you have access to those links. So if you could do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, so Dave's against Kendall Hinton. What's your thoughts on it, Keith?
Well, yeah, originally my first thought was I think Seth Williams was going to be the guy. But when I heard Hinton come up, I thought, maybe Hamler's going to be springing in more into that Jeudy type of role, and Hinton kind of backing him up within that and keeping Patrick where he's at. We'll just see how practice comes out and where we come out come game day. But I got to admit, once Dave, I like Dave's idea a lot better. Maybe you should Tap coach.
Maybe.
Well, I am Bruce Arians, so
Bruce Arians
so,
over
you know.
here. Yeah. I'll slide into the opposition just for not to be on the 100% on the same page. I kind of like the Hinton move. The reason why I like it is because we've seen Cortland Sutton out there. He doesn't have the same speed. I think he's still kind of getting himself back into the rhythm, and losing Jerry Jeudy and only relying on Hamler to be that speed guy. Because Tim Patrick, while he's got some decent route running and he's got some decent speed, he's not really that shifty slot guy. He's just it's not what he does.
Yeah.
So Kendall Hinton just kind of comes in. I think it's literally just to kind of keep matchups somewhat the same. Because KJ Hamler's going to need to be, taken off the field on times. He's running a burner route. 3 out of 5 of his routes,
right?
Burner routes.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think that's why it makes sense in this move. I would have liked to see Tyreek Cleveland though. Last season when we seen Cleveland, he performed well. This preseason it was not the case, but I think this preseason they also were kind of using him everywhere, and I think it got the best of him. They were putting him in punt return, they were putting him in kick return, using him on special teams, and that's kind of what you have to be as the 4th or 5th receiver. You got to be able to do that. But I think he was trying to make a name for himself, and he had a couple costly mistakes. But maybe if the pressure's off, we see the last year version of him.
If hindsight was 2020, we wouldn't have traded Trinity Benson.
Yeah, I still stand by the trade, though. You got value.
No, you got good value for it. So, and you never know when injuries are going to come up. And I expressed this concern, when Denver only kept 5 receivers and one of them's really not even a receiver. He's a return specialist,
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
now we're grabbing guys out the practice squad. Nothing against Hinton. I think Hinton might do okay, but a Trinity Benson would have been a whole lot better.
Oh, certainly.
Absolutely. I agree. It would have been a lot better than what we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it goes back to what you talked about with the depth in the pregame show. Maybe this is where we do see Deontay Spencer kind of pop in and maybe be a factor in the game. He's limited due to his
yeah, I think he's going to have to. He did some in the preseason, They used him some, and I would like to see him try to sprinkle him in for another speed guy or something,
Definitely.
Somebody who can maybe line up in the slot, and
Definitely.
be a little more shifty.
I 100% agree with you there.
If nothing else,
let's move on from that. Let's move on from one injury to another one. It's not so much of an injury. I guess it's more of an unknown at this point. We don't really know what's going on with Graham Glasgow. We don't know if it was just a freak thing. There's so many factors that are unknown right now. Right now, it's slated to be Netane Moody, who's going to come in and play with him.
Yep.
You know how I am on Moody. He's just a mauler. I don't have concerns if Glasgow has to miss a couple games, or possibly. If it's an ongoing health issue, this unfortunately may be the time that he has to hang it up. We don't really know. It's just so unknown right now. He was held out of practice today.
Yep.
I think he did some light stretching, and that was about it. So, what are your guys' thoughts on Moody? Is anyone nervous about it? Or are we just plug and play and let's go? It's a hog molly.
Well, I guess first off, in reading a little bit up on his issue, he said that he first started having issues on the 2nd or 3rd series, played all but 3 snaps in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as his ability to play through it, obviously it's not something that completely took him out of the game and he was rushed to the emergency room. It was post game. Now, being held out of practice, I know he was getting some more tests done today too. I just hope the best for him. But I'm with you. If Moody needs to come in, he's a mauler when it comes to opening up holes, and I'd love to see our running game take off a little bit more. Hopefully he can hold his own and get some help from the guys around him when it comes to the pass game. And I don't think we're that far off from where we were at come week 1. So
no, and Glasgow did struggle, and me and Matt talked about this afterwards, after this was revealed with his issues, and said, maybe that's why he looked a little off,
Mm-hmm.
He's out there dealing with some heart issues, but I can't believe he toughed it out. The heart's something you don't want to mess with, so,
Yeah, I'm
Guys,
wondering if he
guys
thought
get
maybe it was just adrenaline though, because I mean, like when you're adrenaline, your heart's racing, you're excited, it's opening week. Maybe it was hard for him to diagnose like it fully, like maybe just like as you're like amped up and you're
butterflies,
there,
right?
but when you're resting,
Yeah.
on the break, maybe it's just like this is kind of weird. It's not, lowering. I'm still really elevated.
Yeah, and apparently that's what he told the trainer. He just felt a little weird, And
Yeah. So
I mean, he sat out for about 3 plays, you said, Keith, and then
2 to 3
and then
plays. They
went back
said.
in. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and maybe a lot of this is just precautionary now, and
Yeah.
you really want to make sure he's okay before you put him out there, because the last thing you want to do is have the guy collapse. I mean, who was it? The San Francisco guy? Probably about 10 or 15 years ago here in Denver, collapsed after the game in the locker room and died, so
Yeah.
you definitely don't want that happening to one of your players. So,
Yeah, we had the running back here that was here for a while too. I think his last name was Nash, and he was playing like that charity basketball game, and heart just stopped.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
right.
I want to say his first name was Damien, but I don't remember.
Yeah. I mean,
that was about right. It was shortly after.
yeah, when the heart's going to go, it's going to go,
Yeah,
and a lot of times you don't get warning.
Yeah, those big guys too. It's not like they're not trying to keep a little weight on the body, So
Right.
that's another thing to be concerned about. But yeah, no history. Hopefully, he works his way back, and if nothing else, we can get him into the rotation. So
right, and I think Mute will do all right. He did struggle a little bit in the preseason. Hopefully, he returns to the way he played last year, because last year, he was just dominating people. So hopefully he gets in there and he'll do all right. But you also need to remember when he came in the preseason, he was playing with the 2s and 3s. So
yeah, I think he might have been the second most experienced offensive lineman on the second rotation.
Right.
If I remember correctly.
So I think him being in there with these regular starters is going to help his game out as well. So, and
absolutely.
let Glasgow get himself right. I mean, don't rush the guy back.
Take your time, get back, get healthy, get right.
If you won't rush Bradley Chubb back, then for an ankle.
Okay. Yeah. So Bradley Chubb, we're going to tie them into the next segment, but so that Bradley Chubb would be the next big injury that we want to talk about. But I do want to kind of highlight, if Moody's coming in there, hopefully he can rely on Bobby Massey's experience. I mean, because it is going to be a very inexperienced interior offensive line. I mean, Reisner, this is year 3, Cushionberry year 2, Moody, this is year 2. So it'd be it's a very young interior offensive line. So I think they're going to have to really rely on those tackles for some veteran support, like identifying certain things, making sure they're getting the right calls, things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely. So let's talk Bradley Chubb. I mean, you already know this is my lock of the defense.
Well, and I'm not going to call him that, Matt, because
I said
Bradley Chubb has the talent. Bradley Chubb has just been injury plagued, So he seems slow to recover from injuries, which is what is concerning to me, because I mean, if the guy's healthy, I mean, he's a beast. There's no doubting that, But I mean, he gets these little nagging injuries that he just can't seem to kick.
Yeah, he's had one full complete season. It was rookie season. It's the only season he's played a full rotation. I do think, which leads into the, the expectations. That's the next part of our segment. And, as much as I harp on the guy, I was expecting him to have a really good season, and I think he still can. And this is going to be the first time, I mean, Vaughn's healthy. We seen last year he was dependent on another quality pass rusher. We see that he's not the dominant force we had hoped. Is he great? Yeah, he's great at blocking a double team. But if he's going to be the primary edge, he's just not that guy right now. I think he needed as much reps as he can. I mean, unfortunately, this year, we've already picked up the 5th-year option. He's going to be paid as, above middle tier edge rusher next year. He's going to make over $12.5 million. I mean, this was his audition year, and he's already starting it off poorly.
He is, and just reading the injury report, practicing on a limited basis today. Fangio's not sure about his status for this weekend, and they'll know more tomorrow. It's getting to be frustrating, and I understand where you're coming from, Matt, with this whole thing. I mean, this guy's a number 5 pick. He should be out there impacting games. So
number 5 pick, and I was just looking, just to refresh my memory. 2019, week 4, left knee ACL. 2020, missed the last 2 games in what they're calling a pedal left ankle injury. And believe it or not, what he has now is a pedal right ankle injury.
Yeah.
So last
last
year with surgery and missing a lot of the offseason, I'm glad that he's practicing on a limited basis. But as far as what my expectations now are for Bradley Chubb, it's not very much.
Well, right. And if he had to have surgery on the left, is the right eventually going to require it? And I hate to say this about an individual, especially somebody that plays in the NFL, but he seems to be a little soft when it comes to injuries.
Mm-hmm.
People play hurt all the time in the NFL, and he doesn't seem like he wants to do that, and I really don't know the pain level of this injury, but it's like, when are they going to spring it on us? Here in a couple of weeks that, he requires surgery and he's done for the season.
Yeah, might be back for the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, and then even at that case, it's back to the snap count, and then you're going to pay this dude as a top edge next year. It just, as much as I don't want to pull another plug on another experiment, but at one point, do you just cut your losses and get what you can for him? The only reason why I think he's going to be sticking around is because you don't know what Vaughn's going to look like next year. Of course, he's aging. We were ready to say, Vaughn, this has been a great ride. You just cost too much money. Thankfully, we were able to work out cap, and he seems to still be in pretty decent shape. But next season with the cap of what it is, you're paying Bradley Chubb $12.5 million. You're not going to be able to pay another edge rusher $17 million, and that's probably Vaughn's going to command. So it's getting to the point where we got to figure this Chubb issue out quickly, because before we know it, we're not going to have any edge because he can't stay healthy. And Vaughn,
and he's damaged goods. And how do you trade him?
Well, I know how our buddy Kurt Valenti would respond to this.
What's that, for Aaron Rodgers?
that would be Kurt's dream right there.
So, the longer these injuries drag out for him, the less
value he has.
The less his value drops,
Yeah.
And then if you really do want to go after Aaron Rodgers, which I do not, everybody knows where I stand on that. I don't want to chase a 39-year-old aging quarterback, who looked horrible yesterday. Last week, and these guys play at such an elite level. When their talent goes, it goes quick. And just like you were talking with Vaughn, Vaughn could drop off big time next year. The only one that seems to have beat this whole thing is Tom Brady.
Well, we expect to hear that from you, Bruce. So,
yeah, definitely. And it raises the questions, if we were to look at that quarterback situation, and Bradley Chubb's likely a part of that. Let's say for Aaron Rodgers, you're losing your draft capital to replace him. You're losing the talent, and you just lost a significant amount of cap. Aaron Rodgers is that he's going to demand $50 million next year.
Right.
It'd be crazy. I'm to the point to where evaluating all this. Unfortunately, this is going to be the rinse, wash, repeat cycle that we've been in. But at this point, the best option in terms of quarterback, I think, is going to have to be Teddy Bridgewater. You don't want to throw all your draft capital away. You don't have your unlimited cap space. If he plays at this level, I don't think there's any reason to back away from it. So It's way too early to make a prediction for what's going to happen with the quarterbacks next year. But back to Bradley Chubb is just, we're looking at a potential situation where we don't have a dominant rush at all next year, and that's a huge part of this defense.
Right.
So I do think it's imperative that because if you're faced with the conversation of Teddy Bridgewater drops off, Drew, let's say even to the point to where Drew Lock gets another shot, but he's just still the same. Now you're picking at pick 14 or 15 again, and you have to decide, what are you going to fill? Do you need an edge, or are you going to do the quarterback, and what's the better value?
Right.
And you're just having to weigh those options again. It just seems like it's just this rinse, wash, repeat cycle with these two positions, and they're very important. So
if we would have just drafted Josh Allen,
we could wish, Dave.
we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. Did he really say draft Tommy Locke?
We'll leave Tommy Locke in Mizzou, okay? We're not – no more quarterbacks from Mizzou at all.
No.
Let's just leave them there.
So, well, you know what I figured out about these Mizzou quarterbacks? They make good backups.
Blaine Gabbert, perfect example.
Gabbert, Chase Daniels, these guys stick around for a while. They just bounce from team to team, so maybe that's what Drew's going to do.
Yeah, I think Drew Lock already has more starting experience than Chase Daniel, and Chase Daniel's been in the league for almost 10 years.
Right.
So maybe you're right. I mean, there is a place for it. We'll see what happens with it.
So.
But just the Bradley Chubb issue is just – I'm hoping this guy can just turn it around. He just needs to go out there and show that he could be dominant.
Yep. It's the season to do it.
I agree. Hopefully he gets back on the field and he can – get back to how it was, his rookie season when it was him and Bond together.
Yeah, because I don't even want to mention other names that we potentially passed on in that draft class, because it goes Quentin Nelson, there's Josh Allen, of course, Lamar Jackson, Jair Alexander. It goes on and on. There's a ton of talent that has been healthy and consistent and made impacts on their team, while we've unfortunately been stuck with a guy who, when he's on the field with Vaughn, is great, but when left alone, he's off injured and not dominant. So let's hope he can prove all of us wrong. And it seems like we all have significant concerns. So let's hope he can come back healthy. All right. Let's see. What's next on our agenda? So we got room for improvement. What position group concerns you the most? And how do we need it? How would you clean it up? So who wants to go first? You want to go first, Keith?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't have a plan to clean things up, but I think moving forward, now where we're at, one other injury that we didn't necessarily hit was Darby.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Darby. Let's go back. Rewind.
No, it's okay. It's all right. Little tear is what was shown on the MRI. We bring up Nate Hairston, to try to fill that. Obviously, Surtain is the one who's going to be taking over that position. So the position group that I'm looking for biggest improvement is really just making sure they're all on the same page, and that's that secondary.
Yeah.
Surtain is great. Surtain has the possibility of wearing a gold jacket someday, but he's a rookie. He's in game 2. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to be left on an island. That means we're going to be cheating safeties down, in order to help. Might be great for the run game, but we need to make sure that we're communicating, making sure that we're not getting hit with a big play down the field because we're trying to take care of a rookie cornerback. The secondary is where I see we need just to be tight, especially in the next coming weeks.
Absolutely. And just piggybacking real quick off the injury, Patrick Surtain is going to slide over. They did confirm that they're not going to utilize him in the sub package like they wanted to. So he's not going to be on the tight ends. He's not going to be on those things until Ronald Darby comes back and can be proven that he's healthy. And if they said if Surtain is killing it, there's a good chance that Surtain may not be taken off the field from that position. So we might have to look at Darby to come into that kind of dime nickel role. They're not going to keep him inside at all. They're going to let Bryce Callahan do his thing on the inside and keep him completely outside just to limit confusion, I think, for him.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I'm interested to see if they can step up, he's kind of a new addition, is Mike Davis, the cornerback we got from Detroit. We picked him up right after cuts. He was looking fantastic on special teams. He's had some success, in bits and pieces. So, he's a name to keep an eye on to see if, he can come in and maybe play some of that combo role, because Bryce Callahan just lacks the size. He can't cover.
Yeah, and
Travis Kelce, it's just not going to happen.
And it's like you said, Matt. He's our only true slot guy. So Callahan needs to stay in the inside and deal with that. The thing that concerns me though, that Keith said, is the MRI showed a slight tear. So this could be a lot longer recovery than just a pull. So, and being somebody that just needs to turn and run sometimes, sprint as fast as you can, then, it could be a while before he's ready to go on that thing again. So Pat Surtain's going to have to grow up quick. So, which I think he has the ability. So, but yeah, he is a rookie and he's going to make mistakes, and people need to understand that. I mean, people, as soon as we had people last week, freaking out because of that play, where there were some miscommunications in the secondary and there's some missed assignments, and everybody's ready to kick Pat Surtain off the team. These guys are rookies.
Did you hear the rumors that he was benched by Vic Fangio after that? And I guess Vic kind of commented that he did take him off the field.
He did. I mean, he did not play much after that. Yeah. If he played at all after that.
He did. I don't think he did.
I don't either. So, but one group that I think that needs to clean it up is the interior defensive line. They left some gaping holes for Daniel Jones to just step up in the pocket and take off running. Purcell did not play that good. We just need to shore that up, because the next 3 games we're facing some quarterbacks that have the ability to run in Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and then of course Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely going to have to make sure that middle is not wide open for these quarterbacks to just take off and go on 15, 20-yard runs down the field. So
absolutely. I want to address this question real quick. So Baron Browning did play last week. He had about 4 snaps. So it just looks like they're going to be utilizing him in more sub packages and special teams for right now. So it looks like, as much as you don't want to hear this, Victor, it looks like they're pretty, for your favorite quote, locked in on Josie Jewell and Alexander Johnson for now.
Well, and I'll give Josie Jewell props. I mean, Josie Jewell outplayed Alexander Johnson last week, even in coverage.
100% agree.
So, I mean, and they put him on probably the toughest guy to put him on. Have him covering, having him cover, Sterling Shepard. You normally don't want your inside linebacker doing that, but he
did break one pass breakup while he was covering the slot receiver. So
yeah, he definitely did. So
I hope we don't utilize them like that against Laviska Shenault, because it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a very long day if we have to do that. So let's hope that's not the case.
Speaking, Dave, to your defensive line, I'm hoping the same thing, just from a running standpoint, going up against a rookie quarterback. We all know that running the game and the tight end are the 2 biggest things that they want to really get started with right off the bat, and really, that's their security blankets. So we'll need to be stout on the run as well as the run up the middle from the QB.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. All right. And so mine was actually going to be the interior defensive line as well. Mike Purcell just looked off. I know he was battling some injuries last year. I think he got a little roughed up in camp this year. I mean, if he's not healthy, like you said earlier, they're not rushing Bradley Chubb along. So if he's not feeling comfortable or something's not meshing right, put in, you got Agim, you got Deshaun Williams, who blew up in the preseason. I mean, he got interceptions, forced fumbles. He was just completely destroying it. I think I hope to see Williams on the field a little bit more against Jacksonville. That offensive line is not as good as the Giants, so maybe we'll see Purcell bounce back, but that was my biggest concern as well. All right, so moving on from the Broncos, because we could talk Broncos all day, but I know we're trying to branch out to our NFL and skill sets here. So there was a lot of upsets this week. Did you guys have one that was your favorite?
My favorite?
Yeah, or one that just completely surprised you, like what in the world happened?
Oh boy.
You got one, Keith. You're smiling over there. I think Keith's got one already.
You got one, Keith? Go ahead.
I had a hard time picking between 3, I'll be honest.
Right.
Saints Packers 38-3 has got to be one of the biggest surprises. I mean, we all hope that Jameis Winston, all Saints fans had hoped that Jameis Winston would be able to come in, right after Drew Brees, go in there, be able to run the offense, put points on the board. I'm sure they would have been happy with 3 touchdowns. No, he goes out there and gets 5. The Packers defense is supposed to be fairly good. They got hung 38 points on them. Aaron Rodgers is the returning MVP. They get 3 points, and he puts up 3 interceptions, if I remember correctly.
Had the lowest QBR in the NFL this weekend.
Yeah. I love the statistics of throwing it into the dirt every single snap would have equated to a higher QBR than what Aaron Rodgers put on paper on Sunday. For a guy who does a little bit of fantasy on the side and thought, Aaron Rodgers is a pretty good quarterback. Talk about blowing up your fantasy day as well.
I
that was probably my biggest surprise.
1 point.
Yeah, it was horrific. It was horrific. So
wow.
Saints Packers, that was probably my biggest surprise. So
okay, did you find yours, Dave?
I'm gonna say the one that I like the most, and Matt will know why I like this one. Is Cincinnati over Minnesota. To see Joe Burrow come back from that injury, and play the way he did, and for Jamar Chase to silence all the critics, who said, "Oh, he's gonna choke. He's a choker." Catches 5 for 101 yards and a touchdown. Joe Burrow played good. I mean, Cincinnati, if they can solve some problems along that offensive line, could be a very dangerous offensive football team with Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. That can be a very good offensive football team, and they'll have to try to shore up some defense, but they may surprise some teams here and there.
Okay. So I thought you were going to go with a different one. I thought you were going to go with Pittsburgh and Buffalo because everyone expected Pittsburgh to be good, but they didn't think that, some people are having Buffalo as the AFC favorite for the Super Bowl. So I was shocked at how, they started off kind of rough around the edges, but I mean, once Ben found his rhythm, it was just Buffalo had no answer for their offense.
Well,
and that's one of
I think
defenses.
defense and special teams really won that game for Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
block punt for a touchdown. I don't think their offense was killer, but I mean, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't like Aaron Rodgers.
No, it wasn't. But what made me even more surprised than how well how the offense did against their defense was how well Pittsburgh defense looked. They held Buffalo to 10 points?
Yeah.
Well, they got or 16 points. 16,
okay.
But they got probably the best defensive player in the league in TJ Watts. Did you guys hear how that whole thing went down with his contract?
No, I didn't hear it. What happened?
So, we all heard there was a contract dispute. Yeah. And the Steelers were already offering to make him the highest paid player in the defensive player in the NFL. And his agent kept telling them, "We're going to get you more money. We're going to get you more." Finally, TJ Watt told his agent, "You know what? I'm good with this." He marched into Art Rooney's office and said, "I will take that deal." So, so he overrode his management on that thing. But, and I like TJ Watt. I think he's a good player. I mean, and then they got Mika Fitzpatrick. They got a good defense. Pittsburgh's always had a really physical, rough defense,
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that they did.
One of my favorite head coaches of all time. I mean, there was a little bit of a rush patch a couple years ago when the Killer Bees went crazy. Antonio Brown throwing his temper tantrums, Le'Veon Bell throwing his temper tantrums. But aside from that very short stint, Mike Tomlin's been nothing but stellar head coach.
Oh yeah, I love Mike Tomlin. And just to clarify, earlier I said that Aaron Rodgers had the worst QBR last weekend. Actually, I think that award goes to Ben Roethlisberger. His was 28.5.
No way. Okay. Well, then I didn't do enough research.
So he was 18 of 32 for 188 yards. I don't know. I mean, he didn't play that great.
Yeah, no. Speaking of QBRs, because you brought it up, though, I gotta highlight it. Number one QBR in the NFL right now belongs to Denver's own Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, come on, let's let Victor say that for us.
All right, Victor, repeat after me in the comments. Teddy Bridgewater has the number one QBR in the entire NFL. No, okay. We'll see if he comes through.
He won't say that.
Teddy loves him, and he did well. And was it a little boring at first? Was it a little bit not as what everyone But that's what we all anticipated when it came to Teddy. We thought it was going to be methodical, but it played into their strength. And we thought it was a 17-14 game. It turned out it was not a 17-14 game. It was way better than what we all had hoped.
And if Hamler doesn't drop that gift,
oh yeah,
they left 10 to 14 points on the board because filter in the Alberto fumble inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah,
that was at least 3.
Possibly 14 points left on the board.
Right, yep. On the field.
Yep. Going back to upsets, though, the one that probably made me the happiest, and because I'm kind of a closet fan of this young quarterback, Eagles over the Falcons, 32-6. Jalen Hurts just went out and was dominant in that game. He looked fantastic, and I was so happy for him. He was able to silence some critics a little bit on Sunday, and the other thing is I didn't expect the Falcons only to put up 6 points. I mean, I know they've had a downturn in their offense. Julio's no longer there, all of that, but 6 points is pretty chintzy.
Absolutely.
Another surprise to me too is that Arizona-Tennessee game.
Correct.
I did not expect Arizona to dominate Tennessee like that.
Yep. That was my number 3.
Yeah. There was a lot of issues on Tennessee. I mean, their offense just couldn't gel. Derrick Henry was practically not.
Yeah, what did he have, like 58 yards,
58
I think?
yards, no touchdowns, I think.
Right.
Chandler Jones gets 5 sacks by himself. Yeah.
How about Sam Darnold taking on his old team?
That was beautiful. I'm telling you, I think Sam Darnold's in for a huge year. There was a good tweet that I seen about this. It sounds like it was a Jets problem, not a Sam Darnold problem. I think Sam's going to thrive in Joe Brady's system. And I think it's going to be why we see Joe Brady probably be a head coach next year somewhere.
Well, rewind a year ago today, and quite honestly, I was looking at Carolina with Teddy Bridgewater and McCaffrey and all their receiving weapons. They have, Curtis. They have what's his face that was with the Jets.
They had
Robbie.
Who was his name?
Robbie.
Robbie Anderson's still there.
Robbie Anderson as well.
Samuel, and they had DJ Moore.
Yeah, they were just loaded, and I thought, man, with Teddy Bridgewater, and then next thing you know, McCaffrey, of course, goes down, and I think that completely imploded their season.
Yeah, and then it was
any quarterback to walk into that same situation, I think, was already set up for fairly good success. You just need to be, like a lot of people call Teddy, just need to be a consistent, quality quarterback. Nothing too big, no big mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on the Broncos too much.
It was actually.
I shared a video to our group chat. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's been all over Twitter as well. Broncos have posted it. It was Von Miller and Teddy Bridgewater, talking together.
Yeah,
and
I
Von
saw
was just
that.
like, it's so great to have you back. Those little pep talks you do. We haven't had leadership like this since Peyton was here. 18 was here.
Yeah.
And that just spoke to me of where we've come in the last 5 years to just see in one game. Von wouldn't just come up and say that. I mean, Von was one of the people who was frustrated, but for him to just say that makes me feel more comfortable with Teddy being behind him.
Well, and it does mean a lot because Von has even been a big proponent of Drew Lock.
Exactly.
He was on Drew Lock's corner, so it's not like he was always an anti-Drew Lock guy and he's just making this to make Teddy Bridgewater seem so much better. But it's huge to, have that, and to have a leader like this on the offense is going to be nice.
Correct.
Someone who can calm the team when things start going wrong and stuff like that. So, and that's when we'll really see it, I think, is when, we have a turnover or, that puts our defense in a bad spot or puts us behind in a game, to see Teddy, just come out and calm the offense, and because we've all seen Drew, and I'm not trying to pile on Drew, but we all saw Drew in the past once he made a mistake, it all started to snowball on him.
Just
Yeah.
unravel.
So,
And that's one thing I'm hoping we don't see with Teddy. I mean, we'll see. He hasn't made a mistake yet, so
Right,
knock on wood that he won't.
right.
So shifting gears back towards the week 2, we kind of had this as a maybe a potential upset, but I'm not sure if you guys have the schedule in front of you.
I do.
So I was thinking let's steal a book from K and let's do just a rapid fire, not a score prediction, but just if we think the upset can happen. We'll avoid tomorrow's game and we'll avoid Broncos game, of course, because we have to dive into those a little bit more. So Raiders Steelers, I would put the Raiders as the upset team. Would you guys agree?
That they can beat them?
Yeah, that the Raiders will beat the Steelers. Yes or no?
Where's the game?
I believe
In Pittsburgh, I'm going to say no.
Okay. 49ers, Eagles. Can the Eagles upset the Niners?
Yes.
Yeah. If Jalen Hurts plays the way he did, I believe he can. I mean, look what San Francisco did. I mean, they almost blew that game against Detroit.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mostert's out. Ayuk wasn't even hardly used. I mean, yeah, I think there's good possibility Eagles take a win.
All right. Can the Texans upset the Browns?
No.
Okay. I don't think so either.
I don't.
Can they?
I mean, anybody can upset anybody. I mean, the thing is,
did the Texans win last week?
This is rapid fire.
Yeah, they did.
For the underdog to win. Just yes or
I
no?
say yes.
Yes? I'm going to say no.
I'll say no as well.
All right. Panthers beating the Saints.
Yes.
I say yes as well. Colts beating the Rams.
No.
No.
I'm going to say no as well. This one's tough because Dolphins are the leaders right now. The Dolphins are leading the AFC East right now. But
True.
Can they upset? I would say can they upset Buffalo? It's in Miami, I believe. Can Tua shine enough to win this game?
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
I don't think this one's really an upset either way. I think it's a 50-50 toss-up, Patriots, Jets. I'm going Patriots for sure. I don't think you can pick an upset on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Patriots in that game.
Can the Bears upset the Bengals?
It depends on who the quarterback is.
If Justin Fields is the quarterback, I say Bears win.
Yeah, I'd say there's a chance if Justin Fields is on the field.
Right.
Andy Dalton is not capable.
But if Andy Dalton's in there, no. I think Cincinnati may start off 2-0.
No revenge game for Andy Dalton. I'm sorry.
Nope. I'm pretty sure this one's going to be a flat no. Can the Falcons upset the Bucks? I'm a no.
No.
All right. Vikings upset the Cardinals.
No.
Where's it at?
And I believe it is in Arizona.
Yeah, it is Arizona. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I think that offense is just too potent for Arizona.
Yeah, this one's a 50-50 toss-up game again, in my opinion. Titans, Seahawks. I would say probably more can the Titans upset Seattle at home because Seattle it's in Seattle. I say no. I think
no, not in Seattle.
No. Okay, this one is tough, but I'm gonna go the other way. Can the Chargers upset the Cowboys at home?
Yes.
I'll say.
It's at SoFi, so it's in LA.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna take Dallas on that.
I'm gonna take Dallas as well. Okay. Can the Ravens upset Kansas City and Baltimore? No. Okay.
Not without a running game.
Okay. Now we're on the good old Monday night game. The real world beater here: Detroit Lions, Green Bay Packers. Can Detroit upset Green Bay in Lambeau?
Yes.
I think they can.
I think Detroit wins by a field goal.
Man, they put up points in San
33
Francisco.
points against one of the top defenses in the league.
Right.
Yeah, so that was our rapid fire on the upsets.
If Aaron has another week like that, do they just finally bench him and turn it over to Jordan Love and say, and start shopping him around?
I think that's certainly a possibility. I don't know if it's week 2, but I think that's certainly a possibility moving forward. I never seen I haven't seen a toxic post-game press conference like that between a coach and a head coach in quite some time, where
Yeah, it was pretty
Aaron
bad.
Rodgers
Right.
comes up and says, "Oh, he said we're an embarrassment." Well, that's not what I would say. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's things are not being worked out during practice throughout the week. I don't see them putting it together on the weekend, and I don't see Aaron Rodgers staying on the field if that continues.
And
I
lied.
don't
I'm going
either.
to change my thing for. I think the Chargers beat the Cowboys. I changed my mind. I'll tell you. I'll tell you why right now, because
All
there
right.
is a lot going on in Dallas that I did not know, and I don't know if you know this. I'll fill you in real quick. Let me find the tweet again really quick. So their starting guard, what's his last name?
Collins.
No, Collins is suspended. They're missing Zach Martin, DeMarcus Lawrence.
Martin's supposed to be coming back. Martin's supposed to come back off of COVID.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, so where is that? So Lawrence is out. Randy Gregory, their other starting defensive end, will be out. Michael Gallup is out for the season.
Well, maybe not then.
Yeah, it just keeps adding up.
Right. Maybe
Jeez.
not.
I don't think. I think it's.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with the Chargers then.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to figure out what the other injury was because there was a couple more listed on there. Oh goodness gracious! It's even more than that. Michael Gallup, Lale Collins,
yeah, Gallup went on.
Lawrence, Neville Gallimore, Kelvin Joseph all suffered long-term injuries.
Yeah, Gallup went on IR, so he's out for probably 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, so I think Chargers win that one, unfortunately for us.
Yes.
But I mean, it is the Chargers; they're known to choke, so we'll see.
So after this weekend, could the AFC West all be sitting at 2-0?
Let me go back and look at the schedule real quick.
So you got the Chiefs playing the Ravens.
Yep.
You got the Raiders and the Steelers.
Oh boy.
And that's the one game I think may trip it up.
Yep.
San Diego, Dallas, or Los Angeles, Dallas, and then Denver and Jacksonville. So
I think the Raiders lose to Pittsburgh out.
and I do too. Would be neat if the whole division started 2-0 though.
Yeah, let's take a look at the NFC West really quick because I don't know if any of them are paying each other. Let's just double check. So the 49ers and the Eagles, Rams and Colts. Where's the other one? Cardinals and Vikings.
And then Seattle and Tennessee.
So I think they have a better
I
chance
see at
of
least
going
one of
2-0
those.
than the AFC West does.
I see at least one of those losing.
Yeah.
You know.
So we have 6 teams in the West that could move on undefeated.
Yeah, which is crazy.
So what do you guys think of Denver traveling to Jacksonville a day early?
I
You
love
like
it.
it?
Yes.
It's a humid environment. It's on the East Coast. We've struggled with East Coast games, especially morning games. It's going to allow them to have time to acclimate themselves to the weather, allow themselves time to prepare and not have the jet lag that we always do.
Yeah, and it's supposed to rain Sunday, so we'll find out how Teddy Two Gloves is in the rain.
I'm more concerned about Melvin Gordon holding onto the ball, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see.
So hopefully the weather doesn't
screw us up.
Yeah, have a huge impact in the game. I don't know how bad it's supposed to rain or anything. I haven't really looked at it that closely, but I did see that the forecast was for rain. Because half of my players on my fantasy team are all playing in Florida this week.
Kids had a new helmet. Yeah, they had to drill in his chin strap again.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to put that on the equipment guy for not having the chin strap adjusted properly.
What in the world is that?
After the first time it came off, you'd think they'd look at it, not the third time.
Hey, at least he came up smiling like every single time.
That is true. So
yeah.
So.
All right. So we're going to switch gears from NFL to college really fast. So big news this week was USC fired their head coach and Clay Helton. Rumors are saying they
that was quick, wasn't it?
Huh?
That was quick, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Caleb predicted it. He sent me a message a couple weeks ago saying that as soon as Clay Helton has a bad game, he's out. He was explaining to me that a big reason why he was let go was there was 5 like top tier quarterbacks that were in California that he let walk away. So one was DJ, I'm not even going to try to butcher his last name, out in Clemson, JT Daniels, and there was a couple other ones that what's the kid's name? Matt Corral, who I've been high on. These
Right.
all are quarterbacks who've walked away from California when they had him in their backyard. So
Wow.
Yeah.
that was a big issue. So part of it was recruiting blunders, according to Caleb. And his
Well, they said they just wanted some cultural change in the program
Yeah.
too. So I don't know what was happening behind the scenes.
So, with it being a very profound, busy job, I mean, that's one of the top colleges you can be
Yeah.
coaching at, probably the top college in the Pac-12 you could be coaching at.
Yeah.
Did either one of you guys have a name that you think could possibly be on that radar?
Urban Meyer.
Even though he came out and said, "I'm not doing it today," is he gonna pull
Is he going to pull a Nick Saban?
No, not
Yeah.
Nick Saban. Yeah, Nick Saban, but I'm thinking of the CU coach. What's his name? He was just here and then he left to Michigan State.
Oh, Mel Tucker.
Yeah, is he going to Mel Tucker us? Go Mel Tucker?
Who knows? I mean, I think that Urban Meyer, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I think Urban Meyer is realizing that the NFL is a lot different than he thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be shocked if he did it. If he just said, you know what, hey guys, I'm going to take this job, and does USC just say, well, we'll just run with the interim this season, and then Urban Meyer, resign after 1 year there at Jacksonville and take the job here.
Absolutely. What about you, Keith? Anyone come to mind?
I'm going to go to the guy who's been a head coaching prospect and said he'd only really consider one college, and that was USC, and that's Eric Bieniemy.
That was one of mine.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I read up a little bit on USC is they weren't paying much for a coach. Plus, I mean, that's why you have Clay Helton as a name,
right?
As your USC head coach. It's not a big name guy, and with the firing of him, they are looking to spend more money. They got more monies in the coffers. I don't know if they could go as far as Urban Meyer.
Yeah,
and maybe not if they're not going to pony up the dollars. Yeah, they're definitely not getting Urban Meyer.
So
Absolutely.
Eric Bieniemy would just be a great fit for him. It would be a great leaping point. He's been passed over. He didn't even get a call last year for a head coaching job in the
that's
NFL.
one of mine. I think he's ready to bridge that gap and be the head coach.
I think Eric Bieniemy is from the California area too, isn't he?
Yeah, his alma mater was here at CU though.
Well, right. I know he went to CU, but
he came out of San Diego, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think he is out of San Diego.
Yeah. So I think those are both solid prospects. I'm going to stay in the NFL. I have two that are in the NFL, one that's in the NCAA still. I think my first one, I think Joe Brady is going to make a name for himself. I mean, he flourished in the NCAA scene. I think if he has a decent year with Sam Darnold, we could see him take off to USC.
Boy, I could see him as an NFL head coach.
I think I could too. I think it, but these colleges.
Where he'd really look
massive
good.
Money though.
He would really look good here in Denver.
Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you there.
Hey, how about this? How about this for conspiracy theory? Cincinnati fires their coach at the end of the season, and they hire Joe Brady to reunite him with Joe Burrow.
100% could see something like that happen. 100%. Definitely could happen. My other one is going to shock you here. I think Josh McDaniels could go to that opportunity there. He's been wanting to. I mean, he's been a head coach. He's been very selective. And
well, you know
what
what?
issues you have though here in the NFL is you don't get complete control if you have a GM who wants to be in control.
You know
These
what?
head coaches, they're in charge of all of their own recruiting. Right. Why not go to one of the most historical colleges?
I think the reason that Josh McDaniels is being so selective is Kraft has told him, stay here. I will take care of you when Belichick retires. And you will step into his role as the head coach GM.
That could be it. And my last one.
In other words, why would you back out of an Indianapolis job like that all of a sudden?
Yeah.
A lot of quarterback. And last time he had to find a quarterback, we got Tim Tebow. Yeah, and my last one, it's going to be another kind of shocker. I think I think Bill O'Brien's going to be trying to make a name for himself. Unfortunately, the whole Houston Texans debacle, he looked terrible out there. But I mean, he's the offensive coordinator over at Alabama right now. Alabama's offense has looked dominating, which, I mean, they always dominate, but usually they're known for their defense. Their offense has just been looking fantastic for the first 2 weeks. If they continue that, I could see him getting a shot at a school like USC.
How about this name? And Matt, you and I have gone back and forth about this guy, and he won't leave where he's at because his life's too good there. Matt Campbell.
Now with all of the adjustments in the Big 12 that are going to be coming, Cincinnati coming, UCF coming in 2023, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That division is going to get competitive, and it's going to be. I think we could see him leave. I think if this was a time for him to leave now, I think this would be it. Iowa State has not looked the greatest over the first 2 weeks. But he what we talked about last time, he claims to have these really high character values. So if that's what he is, he's going to ride out the rough spots. I think some other Power 5 coaches that they could look at. There's Cristobal up in Oregon. There's Peterson in Washington. I'm drawing the blank on the guy from Penn State, but he's been rumored to be interested.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, all these guys have really solid programs that are being established. So it's going to be. I wonder if they'll actually leave their program to just go to USC. So
how about
Lane Kiffin?
Lane Kiffin, that's another good one. I don't think Darrell leaves. I think he's committed to where he's at.
Well, we thought Mel Tucker was too.
Yeah, the one name that I can do flip flop is Chip Kelly.
You think he'd leave UCLA? You think he'd leave UCLA?
Huh?
You think he'd leave UCLA?
I mean, USC's got that ring to it. I mean.
So does UCLA. I mean, UCLA used to be a pretty dominant program too. But I mean,
as prestigious as
USC is a much more illustrious program than UCLA.
Yeah,
sure.
But I don't know. The people might come after his family and stuff if he jumps from UCLA to USC.
Yeah, I don't know. Just an idea.
So.
As we approach the hour mark, I had two more quick questions. We could do them as a rapid fire.
Okay.
Just quick yes or no answers. I think we've kind of already answered this first question. But does Urban Meyer have a legitimate future in the NFL? I heard you say no earlier, Dave. Are you sticking with that?
Yeah, I'm sticking with that.
What about you, Keith?
No, I'm absolutely no.
I'm 100% agreeing with you. I don't think he belongs anywhere near the NFL level. I don't know. Just real quick.
That whole Tim Tebow thing proved it.
Yeah. And then there's players that are like frustrated with him already, like the way he carries himself in the locker room.
Right.
There's been a lot of issues.
I'll take 2 seconds on this. I grew up in Utah. I'm a closet Utes fan. Loved him in Utah. Followed him when he went to Florida. Loved him from Florida. Probably had a little bit of Tebow magic flowing through my veins when that was all happening as well. I did not understand his jump to the NFL at all. Never saw him as an NFL coach. Didn't understand why when Jacksonville picked him up, wouldn't have wanted him as a Broncos head coach. I think maybe mid-year next year, but by the end of the season next year, he's down the road. So.
All right. I don't think he makes it very long. I think I'm right around the same timetable as you. All right. The last one we have for tonight is just a prediction for tomorrow's Thursday night game, which was with our buddy, good old Kenny Kirkpatrick over there at K&K Sports Show, diehard Giants fan we had last week. It's his Giants taking on the Washington football team. I believe it's at Washington.
Yeah, it's at Washington.
At Washington. Who wins the game? What's your predictions?
Giants.
What's the score?
I'm going to say 23-13. I don't trust Heineken.
I don't think anybody does.
So.
All right. What about you?
I think they pull out the magic. I think there's a little Heineken magic. Not by much. I think it's a 17-14 win. But I think the Giants go down 0-2 and questions start getting raised around New York.
All right, and I don't have this kicker on my fantasy team, so don't hit me with this prediction here. I think Washington wins with a score of 12-7. I think we seen Daniel Jones and their offense struggle against Denver's defense. They're going against another stellar front seven.
Yep.
I would say probably a better front seven than what we have because they got the two big old Alabama boys in the middle. And then they got their dominant edge rushers in Sweat and Chase Young. So based on that, if Saquon couldn't get it done, and I mean, of course, he's on the snap count and he's not that healthy, but they couldn't get that going. Daniel Jones isn't going to have that middle of the field to run up. I think they do slide in a touchdown late in the game, and I think Washington wins the game on field goals, 12-7.
Wow.
Wow. So we shouldn't even tune in tomorrow because that's going to be pretty boring, huh?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, maybe Washington's defense pulls out a couple scores.
I don't know. I saw something about the Jets that even made me nervous. I mean, not the Jets, the Giants. That made me nervous against the Broncos. I think the Broncos just got some good breaks along the way, and took advantage of them. But I could see the Giants putting it together, and maybe Daniel Jones has his coming out party.
I sure hope so. I mean, it's really not helping them that they're on the short.
Plus, I just want to be nice and pick the Giants for Kenny.
I wanted to pick him too, but I think he was riding in the same boat. He's like, the short week's going to kill us because there's not a guarantee Evan Ingram's going to play again. With Saquon didn't look 100% against us. I mean, Galladay's still kind of banged up. So
Ingram's not scheduled to play.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not.
Not
Well, maybe I'm way off base here.
No, you're not off base. I don't think it's going to be the most beautiful game, as Matt has pointed out. I think it's going to be one of those slobber knocker games that could be special teams, could be turnovers, could be just be one of those ugly games that kind of falls into whatever win category for whatever team. So I don't think it's going to be the most beautiful game, but I don't think you're off base by thinking that one team could win over another.
Absolutely. One thing I wanted to highlight, this was not on the agenda, and I know we're already over an hour, but I just wanted to just hear what your guys' thoughts were on the top 5 in college football right now. Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, Oregon, and Iowa. Out of all teams, Iowa at 5 came out of nowhere.
Iowa's defense is impressive.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I mean, they dominated Indiana.
But I want to see, they did dominate Indiana. They dominated Iowa State. I want to see them, against one of these Big Ten powerhouses like a Wisconsin or Ohio State. But I don't think they're too far off with putting them at 5. Yeah, they're definitely top 10 right now.
Yeah, right now, let's see, non-SEC teams in the top 10 right now. Oklahoma, we won't count as SEC yet because they're not there. So we got Oklahoma, Oregon, Iowa, Clemson, Cincinnati, Ohio State, and Penn State. So for the first time in the longest time, 7 out of the top 10 are not SEC teams, which is crazy.
Yes.
Shift to power?
Yeah, no, probably not. They'll find a way to screw it up.
But, no, I think you'll still have Alabama, who will be just this dominant program, but is the rest of the SEC coming back to the rest of the country?
I think we see Alabama win back-to-back national championships. I think
that wouldn't surprise, unless Georgia can knock them off.
I don't know. I don't trust
Kirby.
Yet,
I just don't.
That quarterback.
Oh, I know.
His game is flawless. I mean, I cannot find a single flaw in his game so far.
That kid from Clemson was supposed to be pretty dang good too, and look what Georgia did to him.
Yeah,
right. That's true.
Georgia has an insane defense.
They do.
Yes, so, that's where it sits with Georgia. I hope that Georgia can hold out. I'm kind of I like Georgia. I pulled for them.
I do too.
They just seem to falter going down the stretch in recent years, and I think honestly it's going to take an Alabama loss from another team that's going to tumble them out of the top. And then, Georgia will be able to sit there. So
Florida's also skyrocketing up the ranks as well.
Well, Florida and Alabama play this weekend.
So we'll see.
So strap your helmets on.
It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good one.
And is that in Tuscaloosa or is it in Gainesville?
I'm not sure. It looks like it's in Florida.
Oh, I hope so.
I
trying
believe
this.
it is in Florida.
Wonderful.
Yep, it's in Florida. Oops. Sorry about that.
So yeah,
Alrighty,
it'd definitely be nice to see Florida knock them off.
Yeah,
So-
I'm going to throw some college stuff out probably Friday, so you keep an eye out for it. I might try to do another on the fly show on Friday.
Okay.
Talk some college football. We'll see if we can get that going. But, gents, I want to be respectful of your time. We're about 10
All right.
minutes over where we usually are because of our technical difficulties.
Yep.
But it's been real. It's been real fun, and I can't wait for
Yep.
our pregame show this Sunday.
Sunday at 9 a.m. again.
I'm fine with that. That works perfect for me.
You good with that, Keith?
Sounds fantastic, man.
All right.
Alrighty.
See
All right.
everybody at
Always,
9 a.m. on Sunday.
All
Yeah.
right.
as
Thank
always,
you,
we'll
Coach.
end it with
Thank
the
you,
Go
Coach.
Broncos.
Have a good night.
All right.
See you guys
Thanks,
later.
everyone.